Okay, hello everybody. I'm calling this lesson Play Guitar Fast. How I learned to play guitar in 6 months or less. And was I great at 6 months? No, but I was in a band at 6 months, believe it or not. Okay, and this is pretty much how I did it. I don't know if everybody, this is just how I did it. Let me say that. The first thing I did, I practiced every day. A lot of people that get into guitar, they may practice a couple of times a week. I got buddies that say I can't learn it, and they're practicing once a week maybe, and maybe 30 minutes. That probably won't get it unless you're really a natural. Now, I don't know anybody that practices just once a week and learns to play, but that's what happens. Anyway, I practiced every day, 7 days a week. You can always take one day off, but I practiced a lot, and it worked. Second is I learned a lot of chords. Some people will learn the basic C, G, D, A, E, stuff like that. But I didn't have a teacher right off the bat. I wasn't taking lessons, so my little brother got into it, and he put it down, and he had a couple of books, and one of them was this, Mel Bay's Guitar Chords, which I learned back in the 70s. I think this book is about 60 years old, but it showed, the first thing it said, just some of this basic stuff, how to sit, how to hold the guitar, blah, blah. But I got to the chords section, it had 12 major chords, C, F, G, D, A, E. I didn't know which ones to learn, so I learned them all. I learned 12 a week, all 12 major chords. Then I went to the minor chords, and I learned all of them in week 2. Then it went to 7th chords, learned all of them the next week. They were all as basic as they could get. I didn't know any rhyme or reason, so I just learned them. But first thing you know, in 3 weeks' time, I had a chord vocabulary of 36 chords, which I don't know many beginning guitar students that have that. So, did it help? You bet it did. All right. And the second book I had was called Fun with a Guitar. It had the basic time tested, Down in the Valley, Blue Tail, Fly, whatever that meant. But yes, put those lyrics in Siberian Khatru, and I still don't know what that means, but that's irrelevant, but it's funny. So I had another magazine that Mama bought me, and it had Ventura Highway by America. It didn't have a lot of chords in it. It was a song I liked. I learned it. Also had Summer Breeze, and another song from that time period, early 70s, 72. And I learned it. I wasn't real good at it, but I was off and running. And in about 3 months' time, after practicing every day, one of the kids in the neighborhood, who was the drummer in a band, he said, "Man, you're good enough to play with us. Do you want to play with us?" So that was when I said, "Hey, this might work out." All right. And I didn't take lessons. I started taking lessons about that time. You know, most parents, they say, "Well, if you stick with it, we'll get you something nicer, get you some lessons." She finally got me some lessons. Okay. So I was off and running a little bit better. Well, the teacher wasn't the best, so there's not a one-size-fits-all guitar teacher. If you don't like who you're going to, try somebody else. And if I hadn't been so shy back when I was 15 years old, I'd have probably spoken up and said that sooner. But I did get a couple more guitar teachers later and learn more guitar from them. But over the years, I'm going to say I'm at least 80% self-taught. On keyboards, 99% self-taught. What's next? Okay. just a couple of questions. Which is better to learn on, acoustic or electric? I started out on a $10 acoustic. Now, let me say this, the odds were kind of not stacked in my favor. As you can see from some of my videos, I'm left-handed. The one break I got was my next door neighbor's dad just happened to be left-handed and tried to learn to play. And he had a guitar he sold us for 10 bucks. It was a acoustic. It didn't play very good, so you can. They make better acoustics now, pretty cheap, that you can get for between $50 and $100 sometimes. Also, like I said, back at a time when you could count left-handed guitar players on one hand, and probably the left-handed guitars that ever been made on one hand, I managed to find one that was strung left-handed right next door to me. So that was the one break I got. So that is a lot of how but I'll say your preference on acoustic or electric. Electric plays easier. It is easier not to get in the habit of holding your chords down too hard, like I finally learned to glide after a few years. Okay. Next, don't get discouraged and don't be intimidated. When you're starting out, when it's all brand new to you, it's easy to get intimidated because it's like a scary thing. I don't know anything about this. Will I ever know anything? Yes, you will. You'll get there. But the main thing going back to, and I was ambitious. Like I said, I wasn't really satisfied with those classic folk songs. I was ready to get into rock and roll, and I did. And since I learned all those chords, I was probably better than the other guitar player in the band who had been playing for a couple of years. I think he'd been playing about 5 years since he was 10. He was my age. And we turned out to be good friends, but I was better than him. So that's basically how I learned to play in less than 6 months. I actually gave myself a year, and yeah, some of the other things not in my favor was, I remember when I was about 10, my mother said that I didn't have an ear for music. She told somebody else while she thought I wasn't listening, Paul doesn't have an ear for music. Well, guess what? I learned to play 2 instruments without an ear for music. So I don't know what she was thinking. I think it's because I can't sing. But anyway, then I picked out a little part on the piano, and another kid said, well, you got an ear for music if you were able to do that. So yeah, you probably have an ear for music too. Don't let anybody tell you you don't. And another guy said, how do they move their fingers that fast? And he said, well, after they keep doing it a while, it becomes nothing to it. And that's true. And I never thought of it like that. I thought some people could just be born doing it. And yeah, well, I was young. I hope this has helped you. And I'm leaving this open for questions. And good luck with your playing. And I'm going to put some more specific beginner lessons on shortly. So if you got any questions, throw them at me. And hit me a like and subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. Thanks.